All right.
So,
Well, hello, hello, and hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. This is Dr. Sraddha Prativadi here of Elite Mind Pro, and I'm so excited. Today, I have Dr. Spencer Poole from London
yep.
online with me, and he's going to share with us some of his experiences with this phenomenal program called Thinking into Results. Now, I connected with Bob Proctor, who is the world's #1 prosperity teacher in the world. And he's much more than that too, because he's not only increased the outcomes of businesses around the globe by hundreds of millions of dollars, but he's changed people's lives and how they're living their life and the potential within them that they're bringing out, from Emmy Awards and Academy Awards to art and singing and just new and more fulfilling relationships. So we're very lucky today to hear from Dr. Poole about his experiences, because we both are physicians and we both have a heart of service, not only to our patients, but to our fellow physicians as well, and seeing the best come out of them, because there is indeed a lot of suffering going on right now. And we've had the benefit of an education beyond the regular academic circles. So welcome, Dr. Poole.
Thank you. Please call me Spencer, and I know that you're called Dr. P for short, so I'll call you Dr. P. And thanks for having me on this interview. For me, it's pivotally important because, I was an unhappy doctor, and I think a lot of doctors can relate to that. But I had a process of that unhappiness where I was unhappy for many, many years, but I wasn't prepared to admit that I was unhappy, because I felt if I admit that I'm unhappy, then what the heck did I study for, and did I become a doctor for? And then also, am I then a failure? And have I let my family down? Have I let my wife down? And for me, I really initially I just wanted to ignore it and push it away and push it out. And then as the years went by and it just became worse and worse, then I got to a point where I had to just admit it, because I just had to do something about it. And I think if doctors are listening to this and they're at that stage where they're kind of, unhappy, but not like super unhappy yet, don't wait till you get there, because there is another way, and you can definitely make the life that you want, and you can have a phenomenal life through this program, Thinking into Results, because it's something unlike anything you'll ever have studied before. And for me, that was also absolutely eye-opening. We've gone through our whole medical careers, and I've been working for 20 years as a doctor, and I had never come across this material. And it was just phenomenal, and just so enlightening for me, and my awareness just grew and grew and grew and grew. And I kept asking myself, why don't they teach this at school? And then okay, maybe school, but why don't they teach this to doctors? I mean, it's our minds. And, I always thought my mind was my brain, but, mind is an activity. It's not a thing. And because we think in pictures, it's so difficult for most people to relate to what your mind is. And fortunately, part of the Thinking into Results program deals with teaching you exactly what the mind looks like in a visual graphic representation, so that you can understand it and you can understand how it works, and then start to use it to get you really good results. So,
and Spencer, you've said several brilliant things as to the crux of why doctors or people who are highly academically trained don't engage in this, because they're in a profession that values robustness of judgment. And so in order to change a paradigm or a thinking paradigm, one actually has to admit an error in judgment, perhaps, earlier. But I don't think it necessarily needs to, be acknowledging an error of, judgment, perhaps just like an opening up of, to possibilities, to, a wider set of possibilities. Could you speak to that turning point for you specifically?
Sure. So for me, it's interesting as well, because I was working in the ER, and I was an ER doctor, and, I was really good. And I knew that if I was looking after a patient, that patient had a phenomenal chance at, recovering and doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the one making the decisions, and I was the one responsible. But what's so interesting is that when it came to myself, and that my life wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, I was blaming all sorts of things that were external to me. I was blaming the economy, I was blaming the system, I was blaming, the amount of money that I was getting paid, I was blaming the amount of hours that I had to work, blah, blah, blah. I was blaming everything outside of that. Whereas actually, when I understood that this is, a problem that's not going to get better, and that this is down to me, and I took responsibility for the problem, that is when everything changed. Because as soon as you take responsibility, you take back control. And once I'd taken back control, then I had this beautiful program, Thinking into Results, that just took me step by step by step by step through a process that gave me back the power, and then allowed me to use these new skills and abilities and awarenesses to create the life that I now have.
And how did you use Thinking into Results? What were some of the specific changes that you started to see in your life where your eyes really were open to, wow, like these are really quantum leaps happening?
So for me, I think it was an understanding of how this universe works, that it's, whether you're religious or you're not religious, whether you believe in God or you believe in Allah or you believe in whatever, the universe, Mother Nature, it really doesn't matter. But for me, I realize now that there is this big expanse, whatever you want to call it, mm-hmm. and that there is an order to that expanse, and that we are all a part of that. Mm-hmm. And what that for me, that made me feel really powerful, because I am a part of that, and everything that is of that is within me. And for me, what was super cool as well was the understanding that all the knowledge that there ever is was already back in the time of the stone, of the people who lived in stone houses, and thousands of years ago. The ability to make a mobile phone was there. They just weren't aware of how to do it, right? The knowledge was there, just the awareness wasn't there. And everything that's going to come in the future, we're probably going to be able to travel to Mars by 2030, and we're going to inhabit Mars. We don't know how to do it yet, but we're working on it, right? And for me, that just gave me such a beautiful connection with everything, that I am a part of everything, and that actually I am a creator. And it's so interesting how often we stop believing that we're creators. And when, someone says to you, create the life that you want, the immediate reaction is, I can't do that. But yet, if you're married, you've created a relationship. If you have children, you've created the children. If you live somewhere, you've created the place that you live. You may have even built the place where you live. You create all the time. So why is it so foreign, and why does it seem so strange if someone says to you, create the life that you want, that you can't believe in that? And I think that then boils down to the next thing that was so important for me, was an understanding of how powerful belief is, and how powerful the belief in myself is. And I thought I was pretty confident, and I thought that I was pretty, knowledgeable, and that I was pretty all sorts of things. And I was thinking that on a logical plane, on a logical side of my head, the conscious mind was thinking that. But actually, if you looked at my results, and for me, the results are always the indicator of what's going on with you. You cannot escape results. So look at the results. If you're not the way that you want it to be, then there's a problem somewhere, there's a challenge. And so for me, I had all of these beliefs, but actually, when I looked at my results didn't reflect these beliefs, because actually on a subconscious level, deep inside, I wasn't that confident, and I wasn't that competent as I thought I was. And I didn't understand things as well as I did. And the program helped me understand and change my beliefs to in my core, where then things just happen and you just create and everything falls into place. So for me, that has been really phenomenal. And my self-image, which is also covered in the program, spectacular part of the program, which I absolutely love, because people will never outperform their self-images. And so we have to extend our self-image, and then we can see the results once our self-image has expanded.
So Spencer, who is this program for, the Thinking into Results? Is it
everyone? So yeah, so it's so interesting because this is also what I've thought. I've thought like, who's this? Who else? And it's like everyone, because if we're all honest with ourselves, I don't think anyone has a life that is absolutely perfect. And so if there's an aspect of your life that isn't perfect, well, it's not perfect for a reason, because you're not aware of how to make it perfect. And this program can help you understand that. But even regardless of that, why not just do this so that you can grow? Like, we're built to grow. Our spirit is forever expanding. It wants expansion. That's why we don't live in caves anymore, right? And why we're going to go to Mars, and why we're going to have amazing new vehicles that drive us around, and all of that type of stuff. That's just our innate nature. So doing this program is just going to make you grow like bananas, right? It's just going to go crazy, and you're going to get to know yourself better. And when you know yourself better, then you'll be able to be a better version of yourself. For me, one of the most pivotal things that this program has done for me is my relationship with my wife is incredible. And it was strained before. And my relationship with my kids is incredible. And now also I have the time, because I control my life the way I want it to be, to spend time with these gorgeous people. I get to read books with my kids every night. I read with them, and it's just beautiful. And for me, that is the gift, right? That is what you want. So who's this for? Everyone.
And as you're elevating, your mind and your being, are you seeing that? I don't know if your family's also, studying thinking into results with you, but are you noticing that, they're also expanding as well, because you've created this expanded space?
Great question. So two things. My wife is doing the program now. And so we have a combined focus goal, which is phenomenal. We have 2 type C goals. She has her professional type C goal. I have my professional type C goal. And we have a together personal type C goal as to what we want for our family and for our life. And that is incredible. If you could feel what it feels like to have that, you would be taking this program straight away. You'd be buying it straight away, right? The second thing is for my kids. I'll give you an example. My kids have just grown and not through what I'm necessarily teaching them, but through what they see as how I am. And they see how I approach things, and they see also, yes, I speak about it as well, and my wife Angie speaks about it as well. I think it's more just through example, but I'll give you an example. My son, who is 8, his name's Cooper, he was being bullied at school. And, my immediate reaction, like any parent, would be like, I'm going to go in the school and I'm going to sort this kid out, through the head teacher, the principal, blah, blah, blah. And my son said to me, Dad, hang on, like, there must be something going on with him or in his life that he's acting like this, which was quite insightful. And he said to me, Dad, I'm going to go and find out what's wrong, what's going on with this kid, and then I'm going to help him. And he came back to me about 8 or 9 days later, and he told me, this kid has been bullying me because his parents have gotten separated, and it was a really ugly separation, and now we're friends, and we're helping, I'm helping him through that. So, that's an 8-year-old kid. It's just spectacular.
Oh my gosh, that just makes my heart so happy.
Cool,
this is the thing, you as you took on, the initiative to do this and look at the effect on your family, and then in the school. And imagine if we're all engaging in this process together, we can shift the world. And, you and I, coming from the medical profession, we have a passion for this, with our colleagues, for our colleagues, because there's a lot of talk about, oh, the system doesn't work, the system is sick, the system is sick. Well, we have to fix the thinking of each of the individual, people within the system. And it's not going to come with, mechanics or new forms or a new electronic medical record system. We have to work on the thinking first, because all of those things are created from the thinking. And, Proctor Gallagher Institute and Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher, who is a phenomenal securities and exchange attorney, who now is CEO and president of and co-founder of PGI, they've created this amazing, very digestible structure for this process. Because, how do you take the laws of the universe and digest them and make them applicable. Well, they've done it with thinking into results, and we're seeing the results of that for you, not only in your life, but your family. It's phenomenal.
And what you've just said is so important, because I know that a lot of doctors are going to be saying, I don't have the time. Actually, you don't have the time not to have the time. Because if you understood the benefits that you're going to get from this, you would invest the time, guaranteed. Because, you know, if you're going to do more studying, if you're going to, you know, do another degree or add on another qualification to try and improve your life, how much time are you going to spend in that? You know, and for me, again, as I said, I tried that myself, and I'm sure a lot of doctors can relate to it. It doesn't really increase the bottom line that much. And often you end up taking up more responsibility, and so you just get more stressed out. Whereas with this program, it's all about you, and it's all about understanding yourself, and you become at ease. I'm at ease. Do I look at ease? I'm at ease. How long has it been since I've been at ease? 20 years, right? And for me, that's beautiful. My kids see it as well. You know, I'm at ease. They're at ease.
And you mentioned something really important about this. Can I afford the time? Can I afford the money to do this? And I think the larger question is, can you afford not to?
Of course. Of course.
Can you afford not to?
Of course. And it comes down to, you know, where you are in your life. As I said, I'm sure everyone has some type of challenge in their life. That's fine. But just do it for the growth as well. You know, I'm sure there are lots of people out there who have great lives. Fine. But just for the personal growth, because I didn't manage to get that personal growth anywhere else myself. I'd been with Anthony Robbins to his island, Namale in Fiji, and I'd done life mastery there. And, you know, for me, it helped, but it didn't help like this. I mean, this program just really gets to your core. And the beautiful thing about it is that once you purchase the program, you get a phenomenal mentor like you who works with you through this, someone who's a doctor as well, so you can relate to this person. And also, you get to keep this for the rest of your life. And so you can do the program over and over again. So what I find is that I've done it for 6 months, then I start again, and I just do it again, and then my results just, so I've built up this amazing trajectory, and then it just goes from there on to the next phase. And I mean, that's just a gift that keeps giving.
And being connected to a larger community of people who are thinking at this level as well. You know, we might not all be have the same past training, but when you get multiple people thinking on a level like this, it just catapults results. And it got me thinking, actually, Spencer, you know, with you and your wife doing the program, you almost created this concept, you know, that we call like the mastermind.
Yes.
In you know, in the work, and that's, you know, one of the things that Thinking into Results teaches. And you also mentioned a type C goal. So if you're curious, if you're watching this and you're curious about either of those things, and it sounds like you need to book a call with me, and we can talk about it further and see how we can, you know, devise your type C goal and get you masterminding with people, because that is so powerful. And imagine if we could create these masterminds within medicine, you would just be catapulting results, you know, beyond just like the morning sign out, beyond just, you know, a case review meeting, beyond these types of things. If you put in this mastermind bit into it, it really can, I think, transform the results that we're getting, you know, clinically, but then also in terms of the health of physicians themselves and all the other healers too, all the other practitioners.
Yeah. And something that I think is really important is the fact that you'll be able to take charge of your life, and you don't then have to worry about the external circumstances, because you will be in charge. And that is liberating, absolutely liberating.
So what's the next step for people who are watching this? What's the next step that they should take?
Over your initial fear. So what's going through your mind right now as you're thinking, these guys, what are they trying to sell? You know, what's the catch? This can't work for me. I've tried this stuff before and it's not going to work. I'm a doctor, you know, what do I need this for? Or any of those types of things. That is your paradigm. That is your old conditioning. That's just trying to keep you in your status quo. And what you need to do, first thing you need to do is to tell that to get the heck out. Because if you don't tell it to get the heck out, You know, you're going to be listening to this interview in 2 years' time, only we're going to be in different places of the world, you know, but we'll be having the same conversation. And then you need to contact, you know, Dr. P. Get in touch with her. She's a phenomenal woman. She's got a heart of gold. She's a doctor. She's a highly, highly qualified doctor. So, you know, someone like this with these types of credentials goes into this program, then there's, you know, it's bona fide. Check out Bob Proctor. I mean, the man's reputation is irrefutable. It's incredible. And the guy's been doing it 58 years. Do you know, when I was working as a doctor, I didn't know anyone who had been a doctor for 58 years. Not one. So, I mean, here's the guy, he's 85, and he's banging it out, you know, better than some 30-year-olds do. So I would definitely go with this. It's the best thing to do, best decision you'll make. But another thing that I think is really important is that you have to be committed. You know, you have to really want this, because it's not going to be something that you're just going to get and then you can put it on the shelf on the side over there, and in, you know, 6 months' time your life's going to be different. You know, you've got to be that type of person who really wants to change things, who's going to commit to it, who's going to give it the time and the energy that it needs, because when you do what you put in is what you're going to get out. You're going to get phenomenal results.
Thank you so much, Dr. Spencer Poole. This has been phenomenal. And I'm sure there are many people watching this who feel that pull, you know, like you and I did when we were introduced to these ideas. You know, if you're feeling that pull at all to any of these ideas, then, you know, connect with us. And I'll post this, you know, up online, but there'll be instructions below the video. And just connect and take the next step. Thank you, Dr. Poole. Thank you, Spencer.
Absolute pleasure. Dr. P, all the best.
Okay, have a wonderful day.
You too. Cheers.